So this is just a follow-up to what happened in the Northumberland moors, the first night out with the Exped Mars 2 Extreme. If you recall, had a bit of an issue with the poles sliding apart and resulting in a little hole. So as I said, it was my own daft fault, but the pole elastic was perhaps aged or worn, and it was this kind of no tension in it at all, and I've replaced it with this that's got triple the tension in it. So let's have a look at what it's like going up. And we all know that it's really hard to do a decent review when you're up in the moors and you've got a youngster with you and a dog and it's busy and late and you want to get the tea on and stuff. So perhaps this will be a little bit more relaxed look at the Exped Mars 2 Extreme, and to see if it assembles a little easier with firmer elastic. And if that's the case, it's an absolute winner of a tent. So it's a moderately beefy package, weighs 3.4 kilos, but it's a roomy 4-season tent. It's what you can expect. High quality materials. So let's get it out of the bag. Poles standing oxo, and in these languages we've got the steaks, herring, and in one language they're called sardines for some reason. Sardines, anybody know what that is? Rear pole, ridge pole, front pole. So a good tip with replacing the pole elastic is that you want just the right amount of tension so you can actually loosen the thing. And something I read recently, I thought was a real good tip, was to be careful when you're dropping poles down or placing them down on hard ground, because of course that makes a very good edge to sever through your pole elastic. So I think I've got a reasonable amount of tension in there, and before, if I'd have done that, the poles, despite them being a well-engineered good fit, would have come apart. So when you're sliding the pole in, even though we all know you never pull the pole, you push the pole. And we've got a little guest come to paint the poles again. Look, off she goes. Doesn't want to be on YouTube. Don't blame her. Who would? Strictly for cats, strictly for dogs. One. Looking at those letters there, it reminds me of Thunderbirds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the prices of doing a video. So first I've got a cat chasing the poles, and then I've got a small boy who thinks it's a good idea to blast me with a water pistol. So the reason I'm putting this tent up tonight is because we've got guests. So Joel and I have nobly given up bed space, and we're sleeping out in the tent, which is no hardship. And this one is a long pole. You don't want it coming apart on the side. So at the bottom of these pole inserts, there's a pretty complicated assembly, but once you figured it out, it's okay. This is the tensioner for the whole fly and the pole sleeve. At each end there's one of these captive sleeves, and I think the idea is that you could pitch the inner only, and then there's also pegging out points with tensioners. With all of these Exped ones, you seem to pitch the peg at the little round thing, and then these things are the pull point. So it looks fairly complicated at first, but once you've got used to it, it makes sense and helps with all the fine tuning. Told you it was a long pole. It's a great looking shape, isn't it? Look at that, you can imagine that like the bow of a schooner cutting through the waves. Okay, so I'm really happy with that as a pitch now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pegs in, so there's potentially one at the front, one at the back, and 2 front and 2 rear guy lines, so that's potentially 6 more guy lines that could go in. I'm not going to bother. So if you really wanted to go fruity, you could put extra guy lines on the top here to really stabilize it, but that's absolutely fine. So I'm delighted now I've got it, those lovely vertical walls. There's a peg out points down here as well, and you've got potential for this tent to cinch it right down to the ground. Here's the usual suspect. Hey honey, you gonna say hello? You gonna say hello? Okay. Yeah, so you can get it cinched right down to the ground, but I'm not going to do that tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what the condensation is like in this tent in winter use. We've got a decent sized vent here, and you could open that door up there to allow some air in without necessarily getting much rain in. And of course, with it being a double door, you could get through venting, and you can do that if it's really warm, and you can release the door from the bottom and peg it up inside there as well. Honey loves camping, don't you, honey? Yeah, you love camping, don't you? Yes. Does honey love camping? Does honey love camping? So we're about ready. So in here is the world's largest, thickest sleeping mat, the Seat Summit Comfort Plus Large Rectangular. It's fantastic, but I've shied away from taking it up the hill now, and I'm a real big fan of this one. I think it's actually more comfortable. This is the Seat Summit Comfort Light Insulated in regular size. So there's plenty of room light around those. The thing I'm really interested to try out tonight is the OEX Furnace 8 Plus Thermolite sleeping bag liner. So I've been using a lot this Vango Vulcan -7 that squishes down really small, and it's light and it's lovely and roomy. It's got elasticated baffles in it to enable you to stretch, and I love the fit of it. But to be frank, I have been cold a couple of times, so this is why I wanted to test this liner. So this weighs 420 grams, so presumably it's the same material as the Seat Summit ones, but costs around half the price. Are you going in there? So this was 25 quid and weighs 420 grams, and the Sea to Summit thermolite reactor extreme is 50 to 60 pounds and weighs 21 grams difference. So that's going to be an interesting little trial tonight. I might end up screaming, tied in knots with it, and just throw it out in the night, or I might absolutely love it. So if I love it, I'll put a link to it below. You? She's feeling a bit lost because our black Labrador has gone to the Lake District with Gran and Grandad to their caravan for the week to keep them company, to have walks. So you're home alone with us, aren't you? Not got your mate with you. So she's sticking close to her human mate, aren't you? Just if anybody's wondering what breed Honey is, because she's in a lot of our videos, she's actually a Romanian rescue dog. So she was found next to some bins when she was 8 weeks old, and there's a fantastic charity that finds dogs that can be rehomed and brings them back to the UK for rehousing. So she's a brilliant dog. She's really loyal and really intelligent as well, aren't you, Honey? Okay, so as per usual, I've done all the setting up and my young son hasn't done a thing. But I don't care, because I just love camping. So we'll have a good night and we'll talk in the morning. Okay, cheers.